I call Holly Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, like many of the speakers in this debate so far, I want to start by acknowledging the crucial importance of industry training and apprenticeships to our future workforce and our future economy. In New Zealand, and the Green Party, like our colleagues in the Labour Party, was hopeful with the introduction of this legislation that we might see some changes that would take us in a better direction following, as has been referred to in the debate, the decimation of apprenticeships that occurred in the 1990s and which we have taken a long time to recover from in this country. So we supported the bill at first reading, but we find ourselves unable to continue to support it following the Select Committee process. And that is for two major reasons, which we've also heard about during this debate. The first is that this bill contains, as we've heard, the de facto privatisation of industry training by allowing organisations other than recognised ITO providers to be directly funded for the purposes of skills training. We're going to see what is, in effect, the privatisation of industry training for the benefit of specific businesses to be able to train, to be able to get government subsidies for the training that they should be paying for anyway. And it's telling that nobody from the unions to the industry peak bodies to the EMA who submitted on this bill to the Select Committee had anything good to say about this particular provision. And as we've heard, the only organisation that gave it even mild support was Business New Zealand, and for that it was very lukewarm support indeed. So, Mr. Speaker, we have a bizarre situation where every submitter to the Select Committee on this point raised concerns and said that they did not think that this was necessary. And these are the organisations who are working directly in industry training every day, who have the expertise and the knowledge of how the system works, whose expertise the Select Committee should be taking seriously and Parliament should be listening to. None of those organisations wanted to see this change happen, and yet it persists in the bill. And the only explanation that we can think of for why that is the case is ideological stubbornness on the part of the government. As has been pointed out, the whole purpose of industry training is to equip workers with industry-wide skills that will be transferable and applicable as they move throughout different workplaces and throughout different experiences in their careers. And allowing individual businesses to access a subsidy for industry skills training essentially means that they'll simply be able to train people for their specific workplace and their specific job. The skills will be less transferable, and the only beneficiaries will be the private businesses who take this funding and use it to pay for the training that they should otherwise be paying for themselves for their workers. We fear that the government will end up funding training that would and should be done by the business itself. And it's simply another example of this government trying to throw subsidies to its mates in the business sector and using the publicly funded education system and industry training system to do it. It's very disappointing. The other significant area of concern that we had was the proposal to remove skills leadership from the purposes of ITOs. And we were told that having this was for only one part of the industry meant that others would not be involved. And essentially what it boils down to is that the government is hoping that leadership will just emerge in the sector. It's not going to mandate anyone to take that skills leadership role. It's taking a very hands-off approach and just hoping that it will magically emerge. And that is not good enough, because skills leadership is a very important component and ensuring that the future skill sets of the industry are identified and factored into the provision of training. And unless we nominate where that leadership is going to come to, we can't just hope that it's going to come from somewhere. By contrast, Mr. Speaker, we would like to see the Green Party would like to see a very different vision for industry training in New Zealand. We want to see a smart, green, innovative economy. We want to lead the world in green tech and sustainability. We want a highly skilled workforce. We want to focus on value-added industries where we have skilled workers and opportunities for apprenticeship and training for all young people. We want a vibrant manufacturing sector. We want a thriving small and medium enterprise sector that has the skills that they need. And we want gender to be taken into account too and considered so that women can enjoy skills training opportunities at the same extent as men. And sadly, none of these are provided in this bill.
I call Jamie Lee Ross.
This bill to the House.
Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. A party vote's been called for. Ask the clerk for a party vote. Order.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 opposed.
Green Party.
15 votes opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
3 in favour.
Mana? 1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan. Any other votes?
Members, the ayes are 64, the noes are 56. The motion is agreed to.
Industry Training and Apprenticeships Amendment Bill, third reading.
Call on Government Order of the Day number 3.
Vulnerable Children Bill, second